personally dream is that maybe eventually there's some benches there and we see young people reading there, and then I can die.
We want to live for a while then.
Thank you.
Right, we're postponing for that.
I just want to say, it seems like we did have a conversation about this maybe last month, or the month before, that there was some drawing in the works.
Yes.
And something about a bench.
Yes.
And I envisioned a whole bench with him on it, because then you
That
could
was-
sit next to it.
Yeah, so you could
That'd
sit
be
next to
kinda
it.
cool.
Yeah.
That's not a bad,
That's
not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you could sit next to it and read his book and read it to him.
Take a selfie of him with you.
Take a selfie, right? Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to say one thing. If we get all the permissions, then this group would have, advise and consent over the final design.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nothing would be done without
No.
an okay from you.
Yeah.
I kind of like your idea. I mean,
Yeah,
I really do.
I do
Well,
too.
I'm not even sure it was my idea. I think
credit for it.
somebody planted.
Well, I like the
I
idea.
thought. Was it a bench? He's sitting on the bench. I love that.
Yeah, it's intimate. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously we, once there is a site, we will seriously do the fundraising. And we will also fundraise for not asking anybody in town, except for the wonderful citizens of town who want to contribute. For money, there will also be a fund for maintenance, which I think is probably important. You know, you want to make sure that if something happens to the statue, or that it will be maintained. We happen to have in the family, my sister-in-law actually curates the largest open air sculpture show in New England, so she knows every sculptor in New England. So she will be a great source as to possible sculptor. And so that then we will see. So it's a little bit hard to say, what will our budget be? I'm not quite sure. I just took a long look at the website of a group that is raising money for a statue of W.E.B, who was she was older than the Bois, right? Yeah, but they knew each other from founding the NAACP. She was a journalist and writer and an activist against lynching, and her she lived after she was basically her newspaper was burned down in the South. She moved to Chicago and lived there most of her life. And her descendants and many people around the country are raising the money for a statue for her to be placed on the south side of Chicago. They have a budget for $300,000. I do not, but they want a huge life-size statue. I don't think this will take that much, but I cannot at this moment project that. And for us, really, it is important first to have the okay of a site to raise money. Because I think it is important to people who contribute to know that it will be in a very prominent place in the town where he was born and raised. You want to add anything?
No,
No?
you did a really nice job on it.
Oh, thank you. Gwen, you want to add something? What?
That's about it.
That's enough.
Yeah. I really was honored to serve with Randy as co-chair of the Du Bois Legacy Committee, and we have been allowed and invited to continue that work. And so this is one of the projects that we want to support and see happen. And I don't you really covered the gamut. I mean, I don't, you know about the book, she mentioned the books, the Soul of Black Folk.
Oh, yeah, and the books are here in the library.
Yeah, it's great that you have them. We also have 500 donated from Penguin, and we raised $500 and bought 2 other titles, and Monument Valley Middle School is going to be putting them all into the curriculum next year, so that's really nice. So we hope to have some reading groups alongside that, and we are going to be having a monthly Du Bois conversation on the fourth Wednesdays at lunchtime here to keep everybody in the community up to date. So we thought we'd root it in the library. It can be accessible on people's lunch break, and we'll be talking about progress with the statue, progress with the school naming project campaign that we're starting.
I was going to ask about that because I read something that's coming back because in my opinion should have happened.
So now that we've celebrated the birthday, we kind of tabled. We were going to do 3 things: celebrate Du Bois, educate the community about Du Bois, and then figure out the legacy project. So we did the first 2. Right? We really wanted to educate, to kind of demystify Du Bois, really introduce him as a scholar and across civil rights, economic justice, human rights and women's rights. And so we did that, and then we had our beautiful celebration on his birthday, and so that's now our time to kick into the legacy work. And so we've been talking about it and organizing, but we really have dug in. So we met with representation from the select board and the school committee, and we talked about the naming of the school. So obviously, again, we have to have buy-in. There's some priorities going on within the school district, so we didn't want to be interfering with that. So we decided, Randy Weinstein and I with the group, that we would go for getting popular vote. So what our plan is to get it on the ballot in November about naming the middle school. And then we were going to look for a majority vote in Stockbridge, West Stockbridge, and Great Barrington. So that's the plan at this point. So that's another legacy project that's moving along. Danny and Freke are holding the post with the statue, and so that we are also part of that. And we really hope that it's housed by Great Barrington. I think that Great Barrington took a huge leap forward under the leadership of the select board and town manager to really welcome Du Bois back home. And we really hope that the statue is housed on town property. It sort of solidifies Great Barrington. Owning Du Bois, not owning in that way, it's a terrible term, so what's the word? Sort of welcoming Embracing, thank you. Embracing him, upholding him, recognizing him as a global icon. You go anywhere outside of here, he's heralded as one of the biggest thought leaders, civil rights leaders, internationally, nationally. He's in all libraries, he's in all schools. I was just talking to the new minister up at the Second Congregational Church in Pittsfield, Reverend Sloan, and he was saying UCCs, you can't become a minister without studying Du Bois. He has such impacts and such ripples, and so it only makes sense for Great Barrington to embrace, thank you, him. So that's all I have to say. We have lots of great projects. We want people to join the conversation, so again, starting this 4th Wednesday, they'll be here, right in this room, so you can join in. And we will continue educating folks, so there's still some concerns about Du Bois's politics, especially at the end of his life, and so we were committed before, and we're still committed to continue to have conversations about that and educate and understand what he was doing. He really was standing for values that we all care about, access to health and education. He wasn't rejecting the United States as it's perceived, So those are the things that are important. And I have a written piece from someone, and Vanessa is also here with the piece, so I don't know if that's in citizen speak time or if it's right now, I'm just short. But
On the subject, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just keep going. Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Danny, did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say that I think it's, for me personally, I like scholarship, and the fact that an outstanding citizen of the town I've chosen to live in most of my adult life is a scholar thrills me.
Yes.
If he had been a basketball player, but no, the idea that it's a scholar and that we have a thriving intellectual life here with Simon's Rock, with a really good library system, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that my daughter lives here, my granddaughter lives here. That's all.
So that's all my statement. This is from another resident that's a newcomer to Berkshire County. So this is what he has to say. I'm a recent transplant to Berkshire County, and I'm proud to call Great Barrington my new home. On a trip to visit the town when I was considering moving here, I was pleased to be greeted by a sign which read birthplace of W.E.B. Du Bois. The sign gives one the impression that Great Barrington is a community that honors its roots and values this region's historic contributions to the civil rights movement. This impression was one of the reasons why I ended up moving to the area. I was impressed by the amount of information and festivity that was abound during the celebration of the 150th of one of the Great Barrington's most illustrious native sons. Du Bois was the first African-American student to receive a doctorate from Harvard. He was one of the co-founders of the NAACP, and he was the author of many books and essays chronicling the history and sociology of the United States of the 20th century. I heard from many people that the celebration was an introduction of Du Bois and his many accomplishments. We owe a debt of gratitude to the organizers and volunteers who made the celebration happen. I didn't make him write that. This past year, communities across the country are struggling with the harmful legacy of monuments and memorials that do not reflect our values. In New Orleans, Mayor Mitch Landrieu's public remarks on why New Orleans removed Confederate Civil War statues still resonate with me today. He describes the importance of memorials, history, and the impact on the people that live with them. From his speech, this is, however, about showing the whole world that we as a city and as a people are able to acknowledge, understand, reconcile, and most importantly, choose a better future for ourselves, making straight what has been crooked and making right what was wrong. As we grapple with the question of what statues need to come down, we must also ask ourselves, whose histories have been erased, ignored, and made invisible? How can we come together to better honor the forgotten heroes of our country? In essence, what monuments are missing from our town and from our country? 2018 brought the 150th birthday anniversary of one of the greatest people to come out of this town, W.E.B. Du Bois. Great Barrington has a unique opportunity to lead the nation in reclaiming our local, vibrant, inspiring, and profound history in advancing civil rights. I enthusiastically support the idea of putting up a statue of Du Bois, visible to all residents and visitors of Great Barrington, that would commemorate our history and share Du Bois's important legacy. This act would demonstrate our community's commitment to changing the narrative and to honoring one of this country's historic champions of civil rights, equity, and justice. This is Tim LaGarish, and he lives on Benton Avenue.
Well read.
Where was that published?
This? Yeah. It will be published on the DuBois150.com site. That's the part of the town
Okay,
of
so
Great
that's
Barrington, and
something
on
that
the Du Bois Memorial Statue site, which Danny and Freke we linked the two, so it'll be on source.
Okay, so that was something that was sent to you
Yes.
directly, so that's what we have.
Unsolicited, it was.
Right, no, right, no, obviously. Yes, that's great.
Yes.
And this too is another, if you don't mind, so that I don't feel like I have my back to people, can I sit here?
Sure.
Is that okay? Don't you get a cute, but it's okay. And my name is Vanessa, I do live here in Great Barrington, I work here, I have business here. My father pastored a church here for 37 years before he passed away, and if I may say, I was really happy to meet a group of people that helped to educate me, and I'm happy that Gwen always uses that word, to educate, because I'm cute, but I'm 62 years old, and it wasn't until about, not long ago, when I came here, that I really began to learn about Du Bois. And I have grandchildren here, 11 of them, believe it or not. And they too have gotten involved. My grandson Tristan is involved, Xavier, and this morning when I was telling him that I was coming to this meeting, he's like, Grandma, if I didn't have to get a tux for the prom, just the fact that he was his enthusiasm exhilarates me in learning and being educated, and knowing that no one in this world has to be stigmatized with anything. You can make yourself to be the best of anything that you want, and then to have people to look up to and to talk about, and yet alone, they want to read about them. As we all know, a lot of kids these days, that's just not happening. And so it just makes my heart really bubble, as it does to read this from Lily Schwartz. And she says, the library seems like a natural fit for a place to honor and celebrate W.E.B. Du Bois, a prolific writer whose work remains one of the most important contributions to the field of sociology and tracing and unpacking our country's history with race and racism among other things. It's nearly impossible to overstate the impact of his writing and his life's work on this country's history. His books and essays are still read and discussed across the world, and his observations and critical thinking are as prescient then as they are now. They were as they are now. It's truly an amazing thing to think that Du Bois grew up walking the same streets we live on today.
Mhm.
And it's time that the town continue on the path of embracing and celebrating our most famous native son. And again, her name is Millie Schwartz.
That's great.
That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add? You know, what we can take is an advisory vote. We don't have a lot of authority on this, on the grounds here and stuff, but I think if anybody else make a motion. Still hasn't changed. Would you like to make a motion? Bye.
No, somebody else make a motion, because I'm not sure what you mean about an advisory.
Well, that's all, we don't have the power, you know, we don't have much decision-making power here.
You can't say put the statute there.
Yeah, right, now, right?
Let's go.
But we can support supporting the idea that that's what we have. So that's what we, for anybody.
Sure, so I make an advisory vote?
Well,
Is that
just make a motion, you're gonna make a motion.
I make a motion to support the placement of the statue of W. Du Bois and
On library grounds.
on library grounds.
All
Okay,
in,
well, I second that.
second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful idea.
Thank you.
And we're gonna continue with our meeting, and we won't be upset if you guys all leave.
My son's in an orchestra concert, not middle school, so I
That's
have to
good.
go.
No, seriously, because we have other things to do, and we just, I know you wouldn't be.
I was gonna give a little speech about the doing decimals.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh,